Could turn that light on right there, though. Let me see some. I mean, I'm okay. You look stupid, though, just to let you know.
Yo, welcome to Beers and Bars.
Your place for rapid fire hip hop discussion and, of course, great beer.
I'm Kamal Kiddo.
OT the Golden Child. Thank y'all for checking out our last episode. You know what I'm saying? We have been talking to a bunch of different creatives. Last time we were here, or last time you were listening to and watching our faces, we had the homie D Neal on. Make sure you check for Beer Talk Now.
Beer Talk Now.
You know what I'm saying? You can go and do that. I believe you can check out his website. He also has the YouTube. I think you can go to his website, which should lead you everywhere to, you know what I'm saying, stay up to date on what he got going on. So
very positive vibes with D Neal, man.
Yeah, man. It was an enjoyable podcast, man. It was very, very good talking.
We gotta have him back on. Aren't we supposed to be on soon? I think we talked about that.
Yes, man. Let's not put the date out there, but yeah, we will be on. We need to refresh ourselves or remind ourselves though, so we won't.
Yes.
He won't be inboxing us like, all right, 30 minutes, we ready, and like, ready for what? Oh, we're supposed to be on the pod today.
Right.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, man, new episode. What we talking about, man?
Well, of course, we got to talk about J. Cole, Jermaine Cole.
Jermaine Cole?
We got to talk about J. Cole's new project, the OffSeason. We're going to talk about Kodak Black's latest project. He just dropped a 9-track project. What's the name of that joint?
Haitian Boy Kodak.
Haitian Boy Kodak. Yes, that makes a lot of sense. I didn't even realize that was the title. And that has that theme on that album.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about, I think we're a little long overdue to talk about Amazon Prime, their latest show, Them. We'll talk about Them when we get there. But
yeah, and to let you know, before we talk about Them, we'll put that probably maybe second or last. If you haven't watched it, there's going to be some spoiler alerts because, I mean, that's what we're talking about. So
Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, hopefully by now you've seen the show. Hopefully this conversation will pique your interest to go check the show out.
Exactly.
So, you know, it's a ride either way it goes, whether we talking about it or not. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But what are we drinking?
So today I have 2 beers, and it's because I think we're probably going to get into the weeds a bit today, and because we always have 2 beers, and I think that I'm gonna start to introduce both of them at the beginning of the show, since you know.
I think you might be right. I probably need to do another beer, but I'm a chill. Go ahead.
Off top, I have from Heretic Brewing Company. I believe Heretic is out of Fairfield, California. This is their You Can't Handle the Juice. This is a New England style double IPA coming in at 8.5%. I have got to get some more beers in my possession because I am very, very heavy. I know people who watch me on this show probably think I only drink IPAs. I do not. But as of right now, I am very, very, very heavy on my IPAs at this point in time. So
You Can't Handle the Juice.
Yeah, You Can't Handle the Juice. Yeah, it is from Heretic Brewing Company out of Fairfield, California. Good joint. I recently got this. I think this past Friday. It is a New England style double IPA, but it is very hop forward. Mm-hmm. As I've said before, I'm a fan of a lot of the Chicago. I feel like hazy joints be more so, you know, tropical fruit forward, as to where up front you kind of get more of the flavors. But this joint, I mean, it's a hazy, but it's a New England style IPA, but at the same time it does give you some those big hops on the front. But outside of that, I'm having an OG one, man, in case I got a crack, number 2, which is, I think I've had this a couple weeks ago. OG Chicago, you know what I'm saying, Apex Predator, Off Color Brewing Company. This is a Farmhouse ale coming in at 6.5%. So if you hear a second pop on the show, that means that boy has been cracked.
What's it called?
That's Apex Predator, Farmhouse ale from Off Color Brewing.
Apex Predator is the name of it.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
I don't think I've seen you have that on the show before.
Maybe not. I don't know. But I rock with Off Color. They got a lot of more traditional style joints they got there. this joint, they got their beer for tacos, beer for baseball games, like a lot of more traditional style type beers and whatnot. So yeah.
Word up. Today I'm having another one from Pipeworks Brewing. I gotta say, I'm instantly attracted to their cans. Just roaming and shopping in Trader Joe.
Yeah.
Shout out Trader Joe. But
they in Trader Joe, huh?
Yes. These Pipeworks got it locked in Trader Joe. But this is called Spotted Pupper. Spotted Pupper. This is a Imperial IPA with passion fruit puree, honey, and citra hops. This is 9.5% ABV.
Oh, it's a big boy. And what's the style again? What is it?
This is an Imperial IPA.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, it's an Imperial IPA. All right.
Yes. So,
have you had it before?
I've never had it. Out of this 4-pack, this is the first one I am cracking open. I can't even fit all of this in there.
That's what's up. It's rare that we get on the show and have beer that we haven't had, because I'll be drinking.
Very hop forward, even in smell.
Yeah, the aromas and whatnot on the nose. You can.
And it's crushable. It's not very hop heavy.
Yeah, it's not super bitter and whatnot.
Hop heavy. No, it is not.
Okay.
I can definitely bang this. I might have to crack open another one. We'll see.
Here's the problem. I got to start really defining crushable, because for me, everything be crushable because I drink shit fast. So
I feel you. For me, crushable is I can drink more than one of these.
Right, in a session, right? Yeah.
Like it's easy going down. It doesn't have that hop, that heavy hop,
that bitterness.
So I'm leaning more into our dichotomy as a team. And with you being the real beer drinker and me being the light beer drinker, I can deal with a beer like this,
right?
Because it is not hop heavy. You know what I'm saying? And for me, crushable means I can drink more than one, and that's what I can do with this. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me tell you,
crushable. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
at 9, so you're gonna be you out here.
True that. I mean, and I still got to find that head though that D. Neal was talking about, but I would say that's probably not a crushable drink.
Yeah, he's talking about with D. Neal. We had a beer. Yes. He had a beer that was 18. I ain't gonna front.
I gotta try it. I want to try it.
It's more so sipping though, probably, right? Like that's something that you could probably just sip and sip and sip. You're gonna die at the end though. Like you're not gonna have, I would say, more beers after that. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's a wrap. So yeah, but let's get right into Mr. Jermaine Cole.
Jermaine Cole.
The 6th studio album released by J. Cole May 14th. You said though on Apple that it was.
So according to Apple Music. All right, this is according to Apple. It says blah 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 blah. Super MC J. Cole, whose career has long been informed by both basketball metaphor and actual basketball playing, has crafted the off-season mixtape in the same mold, affirming that if he's done anything in the time since 2018's KOD album, it's get even better at what he does. The 12-track tape is at once a testament to his actual rhyme. So I'm just saying, they're saying that it's a mixtape, and in the same sentence mention KOD as an album.
Right.
Let me start by saying I initially heard it and thought it was a mixtape. It sounded like it has mixtape vibe to it.
I would say I would agree.
It didn't feel I hate to start off like this.
No, you go.
It didn't feel as cohesive as KOD did. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I don't think KOD is his best work, but it's definitely cohesive.
Yes.
Compared to this project. I think Cole is a great rapper. I think he's a very, very good rapper. I love a lot of the bars on here. I put an M on your head like Luigi's brother.
How
You
you,
know what I'm
Louis?
saying?
Yeah,
Comes to mind. That was one of my favorites.
yeah,
um, you know, but there are a couple songs on here that are just lackluster. And I'm gonna attribute that to the production and not necessarily what he did on it, but that takes away from it. You know what I'm saying? I was excited to hear Killer. Who's not gonna be like I'm excited? So for somebody who's been doing a deep dive of Cameron since the Noriega interview,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I've been through all his albums, every last one of them. You know what I'm saying? And I'll even watch Killer Season. You know what I'm saying? Again, based off of that Noriega joint.
Yeah.
So to hear him on here is very refreshing. This is exciting. This
Very
sounds
refreshing.
exciting. Kudos to Cole for even doing that. You know what I'm saying? And the song is good. The song is good. Overall, though, I think it's an okay project.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I do think it is a mixtape. I do think that for me, Interlude is one of the best songs. You know what I'm saying? So for it to, I like his flow on there. I think the Climb Back might be my favorite song on the whole project. The beat sounds like album worthy. You know what I'm saying? The way he's rhyming in double time on the Climb Back is interesting and fun, and the way he flipping the metaphors. That's what I'm talking about, Cole. You know what I'm saying? My Life. Shout out 21 Savage.
21 got him on there.
Man, Oscar texted me like, man, they need to just do a collaborative album.
I'm gonna let you finish, and I have some
Go ahead,
comments
though.
there.
Go ahead. I'll chime in, but go ahead. Man.
No, but yeah, I do think that I would love to hear them because I mean, My Life to me kind of sounds, in the same vein as a lot. Even the beat itself, you know what I'm saying, that slow down sample and whatnot. But yeah, man, shout out to J. Cole. What I really appreciate about what happened is the whole rollout. The rollout to me was like, yo, we rarely see rollouts anymore.
True.
He announced the album was coming out. Then he put out Interlude like a couple days later. Then after that, I think the track list came out, and it was announced that he was going to be playing with like the Angolan basketball team.
Oh yes, yeah.
Which I think that game was today. So he's playing ball in Africa for the Angolan Patriots. That's the name of the squad, I believe. He had the documentary that came out, kind of talking about some things, with the creation of music and going back to all that kind of stuff and where his trajectory is, all that. And then he has the freestyle drop like 2 days before, which really makes people excited, right? So it was exciting to see, like, dang, he really, my first listen, I did get the same vibes. I'm like, yeah, this is very mixtape-ish. It is like a continuation to me of like Friday Night Lights and those earlier joints. Just because I like the songs on here, but it's not cohesive like you said from the standpoint of just the themes and the concepts. It just sounds like songs. I do like the project. I did say it. I do think for me, this is some of his most straightforward and best, like, he just going in, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was something that he talked about on a documentary, which I think is how we got a project like this, as to where you can sit around all day waiting on concepts to come up and trying to wait on stuff to write, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, what if it never comes? Like, what are you gonna, sometimes you just got to write and just give people bars or whatever. But overall, I like the project. I came front. It's not cohesive, but outside of it not being cohesive, it's 12 songs, and I probably really like 9 of them. So, I mean, my favorite is probably My Life. I like Amari. Applying Pressure is not good to me. That's quintessential. I'm not trying to hate. That's quintessential. The boring Cole, right? That's the boring center. Just, the stuff that people don't like Cole for. I said what I said.
People like Born Center.
I know, but I don't.
I feel you.
But my favorite joint probably is I like Pride as the Devil, man. I really like that joint.
Yeah.
Because
baby.
Because it's a bounce and it sounds fun, but at the same time, there's some concepts in that joint that is really he's really rapping. Outside of that, very interesting observation with how we listen to music right now. And we've talked about this before. Come on, with how I think you said at the beginning, you were talking about how we're reviewing this right now, and it just came out like 2 days ago, right?
Right.
I don't know.
How can I say it? Yeah. I know where you're going. Well, go ahead.
Social media has created the era of the cap. The cap, meaning for me, right? Look, we listen to, and I've tried to not do this. It's hard to do because I am OT the Golden Child. I have a show, I have a YouTube and all that, and it's like, okay, I got to give my opinion. But I've tried to really get back to listening to music just for either appreciating the music or not appreciating the music. But with social media, people, I feel like, be listening to music with the intent to give their opinion, right? Like, so they go into an album.
Yeah.
It's 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. By 5 a.m., the album is a classic or it's the trashiest album ever.
Facts. Yeah.
In under a 12-hour period of time, right?
Sometimes that same night.
The same night. Because of social media, people just feel like they have to offer an opinion. I think it's kind of changing the way, not just podcasters, but people in general, is changing the way how we listen to stuff because we so thirsty to tell people how we feel about something. And it's not being digested. In general, this ain't just about Cole. Wait till Kendrick drop. You're going to see the same stuff. People going to be loving it.
Wait till any important mainstream artist.
Any important and I think that's not good because it's not given.
I'm people. Can I just say I'm people?
Oh, no. Yeah, look, people can feel how they feel when they hear what I'm saying, but I think that's how you get these polarizing opinions because people not sitting long enough to even know how they feel about it.
Yeah.
Gee, it's a day. You listen to the tape once within an 8-hour period, and it's a classic. Really? Or it's super trash. Really?
I agree.
That's my soapbox. I'm done.
I'm gonna say that I've tuned my ear to if I like it, I like it instantly. If I don't, then I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't think this album is trash, but upon the very first listen, I said, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's not what I expected. You know what I'm saying? I wanted more in the sense I don't think that it needs to be longer, but I think that it's missing a cohesion. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that all the beats are strong, which to me takes away from the bars. You know what I'm saying? I made a like as I'm listening to it now, I've listened to the project, I'm gonna say, to be honest, like 8 or 9 times. You know what I'm saying?
I'm around maybe 5, something like that.
It's not a hard listen.
It's not.
I just get to spinning it. I've listened to it walking the dog. I walk the dog 3 times a day. So, you know what I'm saying? I can throw it on and spin it. I think about when I heard certain albums that I instantly liked. You know what I'm saying? And how, like, from my excitement and pure joy of what I was hearing, shed tears. You know what I'm saying? Not because
when was that? When did that last happen? When can you remember?
Well,
I know you really like Cleo Soul, for example. When you first that's how I know when
I
somebody
heard
really.
Cleo Soul, I might have shed some tears. G, I had to tell everybody.
Exactly.
I had to tell everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like when I first heard, I stayed up, and when I first heard Daytona, I was like, bruh, this is too good. Oh my God. I definitely shed tears listening to Daytona, and I listened to it twice that same night. You know what I'm saying? Because it was so short. Yes. But in hearing this, he almost got me when he said killer. I was like, oh my God. Oh, snap. It's happening. Oh my God. Oh my God. What's going on? But the more I listened to it, you know, and then Amari came on, and the more I listened to the album, I feel like, man, Amari could have been the first song. You know what I'm saying? Da-da-da.
I've heard people say it, and that's the thing. That's what I'm saying.
He got the melody. He knows how to structure a song. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead though.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the songs, right? There are good songs, but it's like 95 South and Amari both sound like intros, right? They both are intro-ish. So I've seen people be like, man, he should have gave me these songs and I could have structured the album differently or something like that. Whatever. But again, I do think that this is just a I don't know what it's called, a catapult to the fall off or whatever other projects that, you know, he about to come out with. He did kind of fool us though with all this rollout, you know, and then threw these songs out, you know. But I like this. I like a good amount of the song, so I'm not super mad at it. You know what I'm saying?
For me, my top songs will have like where I have no issue with the song, and this is definitely you did your thing. Amari, My Life, 100 Mil,
Fire. That's my shit.
Interlude, The Climb Back. Outside of those, there's that I could like. Okay, I like that. Like I like Close. You know, Close.
Yeah.
I like Hunger on Hillside.
I don't like that one that much.
Let Go My Hand is cool. I thought that it was cool that he had Puff on the track.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's things like that I think are good, but I don't think the album, you know,
it's not classic. Like people like this is the best album. It's like, all right.
I wouldn't say that. You know what I'm saying? I think this is a good project, you know. So you say, you know, I agree. You shouldn't just wait around for inspiration. But sometimes, and I've done this for myself, you know what I'm saying? There's beats that I never finished, but that got me thinking about the structure of certain things and what if I could do that on this track over there? Or, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I'll let that sit and then I'll come back to it a few days later and maybe I might get something different. And that's happened. But that don't mean that it needs to go on my project. You know what I'm saying? Just because I was searching for inspiration in that moment. You know what I'm saying? Some of these songs, KOD got a thread to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
Even Forest Hill Drive, 2014 Forest Hill Drive.
And that's the thing. Those are complete, like Punching the Clock I like, but you know, I don't. Some of these joints are not obviously to me complete thoughts, right? It's just like, all right, I said it, I said this, that's it. It's I'm good with it. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
So no, I feel you there, man. I just, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we get the fall off this year.
I wouldn't be surprised either, and I think that it would be. I feel like, you know, I haven't heard Cole expressly say this is a mixtape. But I would love for him to say that.
I know.
But it wouldn't change how I feel about the project.
Exactly.
It doesn't change how I feel about the project, but I wouldn't want this. And this is me as a fan. You know what I'm saying? This is me as a fan. He could do whatever he want to do, obviously. He could do whatever he wants to do. He did whatever he wants to do. He's worth supposedly $60 million, according to Google. Just you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he could do whatever he wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely, as a fan and as someone that checks for his work every time it drops.
Yes.
I wouldn't want this to be in his canon of albums. You know what I'm saying? But I understand that it's.
I mean, For Your Eyes Only is in his canon of albums. When was the last time you listened to that?
Well, that's true. That's true.
I ain't gonna front. I listen to that in when I really like people. I go back and listen to their prior joints in preparation. There's some joints on there.
It's some joints, but all I can remember right now is Neighbors and Folding Clothes because he mentioned it on his album.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think Jermaine Cole is a great rapper. I think he's really good. I think he struggles sometimes with wanting to be, he is his biggest critic, like he mentioned. You know what I'm saying? And I think he struggles with that sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure out what he could do. I mean, even in this project, you know, talking about what he could do creatively. You know what I'm saying? And did he say everything he could say? And did he, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that is going out on a limb, or doing something different, I should say, by putting, oh snap, he getting 21 Savage on his project. You know what I'm saying? He getting Lil Baby on his project. You know what I'm saying? These are not things that we would normally see from a Cole. Early, like he wasn't doing these types of things earlier in his career. You know what I'm saying? These ilk of rappers. And it's refreshing to hear because I feel like he's seeing the game in a different way.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I think he is one of the most authentic rappers, if not the most authentic rapper. You know what I'm saying? The thing that he's talked about, his content,
bro,
is everyman. Everybody can relate to.
I can write a dissertation on that people be having PTSD in the hood and coping with it through every day, you know, just getting lost within their high. And it's like, yo, how about you try meditation? That whole thing is crazy. Like who thinks so? Yeah, go ahead.
Meditate. But I mean, yeah, I think that you know, when he has songs like Amari and The Climb Back where he is full in songwriting mode and arrangement and melody and things like that, that's not what he did on Applying Pressure. That's not what he did on 95 South.
Yeah.
95 South grabs you because of Put Your Hood Up and Killer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a mixtape song.
It's a mixtape song.
He's just rapping. It's no hook or nothing. Cam is the hook. Cam come in, talk back to you, and then they bring you back in with him rapping some more. You know what I'm saying? And then the song is out with the Lil Jon joint. So, yeah.
Songs like Applying Pressure, he's just showing his ability to rap.
And it comes in with the DJ horns. It's a mixtape, come on. It's a mixtape.
Okay.
It's a decent mixtape. Yeah.
Moving on.
One more point. First of all, yes, he needs to do an album with 21 Savage. I really like that comparison, that contrast on the same song. Yes. And people out there, stop capping with the coldest boring talk.
Yeah, stop that.
Here's the problem right here. I'm gonna just say this so we can move on. You can say that, and I would agree with you with joints like Born Center, right? But somebody was like, man, you probably like this joint if you want some 90s, blah, blah, blah. First of all, bro, it's slowed up samples, 808s, mostly trap-inspired beats and whatnot, and almost all of what he's doing is melodic. There is absolutely not much 90s, blah, 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 rap. So y'all cut that capping out with the boring stuff, man. All right. Kodak Black. Let's go to Kodak Black. Let's take it to
Kodak Black.
Popama Beach.
Haitian boy Kodak.
Yeah.
All right, Kodak Black. Hold on. Let me pull up his joint.
Haitian boy Kodak.
All right, so I'm a fan of Kodak Black. I like his flow. I like I like his punchlines. I think he's an entertaining artist.
I like Kodak Black as well. Yep.
You know, for me, Institution is from 2015 is my favorite project of his.
That is a good project. Paint Pictures as well is a good project.
Paint Pictures actually got some joints on it. I might go back to Paint Pictures today. He got some joints on there actually. But for me, this project, he got one joint on here where he's actually speaking Haitian, which I thought was
Deja Bim.
Yeah, which I thought was like, I like the fact that he's leaning more into his culture like that, and he's bringing it to the forefront. There's a very large population of Haitians in Miami.
Oh, yeah.
Or in Florida in general.
Bro.
Yeah. And so I think that that's good that, I haven't seen a whole lot of rappers bring that to the forefront. I've heard people talk about it, but I like that Kodak Black is doing it.
Yeah.
He had a bar in there where he said something about something speaking patois, but I forgot what it. I should have wrote it down, but I thought that was a bar.
I sent the song to Ed for homework, and I don't think the title really means anything in Creole, but he definitely did have some Creole bars on that joint.
Yeah. But for me, I'm gonna keep it real, man. Round the Roses and Z Look Jamaican are my favorite joints.
Yeah.
And they're the first 2 songs on the whole project. Z Look Jamaican, he got some bars on there.
That's my joint. Yeah.
And I like Kodak. I like Kodak, and I'm gonna check for him every time he drop. But I feel like I need a Kodak Essentials more than this project. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's all right. It's 9 songs, like 22 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a taster. You know, Kodak Black, man. That's really all I got to say.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll just piggyback. I don't think he's the artist for tasters. You know, like I think that I like his story, man, because I think that he is an honest and just authentic street dude from Florida. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you know Kodak, you know his trials, his tribulations and whatnot, what he's been through and all that. And, you know, he speaks to those things on records. I like Dirty K. Dirty K may be my favorite joint because that's a Kodak song for me. Like, it's him rapping about, you know, that street shit that Kodak you gonna get from him. I do like the Dejan Bim or whatever joint. And Z Look Jamaican is also a decent joint. But I think that for a rapper like him, you know, I don't know about this one as far as just how short it is and whatnot. Like, I was like, all right, where's the rest of that joint? You know what I'm saying? I want him to get back to the Institution and the Paint Pictures. Paint Pictures is my joint.
Yeah.
I think you and Danny had me listening to Institution, and then when Paint Pictures came out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I like when he doing his thing, you know what I'm saying? But this one.
Paint Pictures is, I think, one of his, if not his first, it might be his first major label project. But I like when he does like his love song joints. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, he be on his lover boy Kodak type stuff. You know what I'm saying? He really be feeling that joint.
Honestly, that last joint with Don't Leave Me, it was love songish, but at the same time, it had some other kind of content in there. But that joint kind of decent.
Yeah.
The last joint. So, yeah, man.
Haitian boy Kodak.
Yeah, man. Not a lot there. Let's go ahead and go into our last topic. For those who have not seen them, this is going to be a lot of spoiler alerts. So if you haven't seen it and you don't want us to ruin it, this is your time to go watch it and then come back to us if you want to listen to us talk about it. But if you've watched it, let's get into it. So,
you want to start, man?
Yeah, man. So Them is a show that was executive produced, I believe, by Lena Waithe. It came out, I think, in April on Amazon. First of all, let me just say this. Shout out to Amazon Prime because I see y'all.
They stepping it up.
Y'all done had Them, Invincible, Kamal. You need to check out the animated joint Invincible.
Invincible. Okay.
Yes.
I'm about to
check out Invincible.
Go on.
And then what was the other? It's another joint that Amazon had recently. Oh, I saw the Michael B. Jordan joint last night as well.
Which was good. Yeah, I just watched that. You want to talk about that? We can talk about that, but go ahead.
You know what? After Them, we will talk about the Michael B. Jordan joint. Live and direct. Pew, 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 pew. All right, so.
Right.
First of all, big shout out to Amazon because Netflix, y'all got to come on, man. Y'all was the pioneers in this joint. You know what I'm saying? Let's go, man. What's happening with some of this content, G? But anyhow, Them is I would say, racial drama / horror joint, right? Regarding a family in, I believe, the 1960s that leaves the Southeast to go to California for a better life. And when they get there, they are encountering not only racial prejudice, but at the same time, you know, some demonic spirits and whatnot. Now, off top, when I was watching this, initially I was like, yo, this joint is fire. As it went on, it started to kind of lose me through episodes maybe like 5 and 6 and whatnot, because I was like, all right, this is mostly now not horror, because I like horror. I'm a horror fan. You know me, come on. Greatest movie ever is Lost Boys.
Yes.
Fuck what nobody say. All right. It was kind of just going into some, I don't want to say wokeness, but it was more so just like different things that they was just throwing out regarding, I appreciated episode, I believe 7, that covered the redlining though, right?
Yes.
Dope content regarding a real issue as to why even today, a lot of us remain in the areas that we remain in because it was systematically set up that way for us people that were just a generation ago.
Yes.
But outside of all that, I think that overall this was a good series, man, because they end up tying it and not just having, it be about wokeness and whatnot. It end up being about being woke and kind of giving you history, but at the same time, it also was good from the standpoint of just good horror. How they tied in at the end episodes, evil, right? This town came from a place of evil, right? There's this demonic force that was there through the, spoiler alert, people, again, the preacher, back way when, and all that kind of stuff, right? There's this demonic presence that's kept this town, I don't know, how would I say, like evil, on top of the fact that these people are just racist and it's 1960 whatever, and they don't want black people in their neighborhood. I think that they tied in history and horror very well. And I was scared early on because I really was skeptical regarding, I don't know if I want racial trauma to be I don't know. Like early on, I was like, let's not do this.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want our real. I don't want this to be a new genre where we're taking real trauma that actually happened. Yeah. Because Michael Myers is just a crazy, psychotic, demonic person, right? Jason, all these people. But when you throwing in a show like this, like the backbone of it is reality. That's real racial trauma, but they tied the two together well to me. It wasn't just them using, racial trauma to make something horror. They tied the two well together for me, and I appreciated it. I think the show was dope. I ain't gonna front.
This is my feeling of the show.
You go.
I think that the show started off interesting. I thought that it was, initially it grabbed me because I liked the idea. I actually liked the idea. I see you.
Here. Go ahead.
But I like the idea of the horror being the race relations and the hatred that these people have towards black, the racism.
Yes.
I think the racism being the horror is dope. Yeah. Like Get Out. You know what I'm saying? I think that is dope. I think that it brings a magnifying glass to America, and the people that see the show are able to understand that white gaze on black people in a real way. You know what I'm saying? The way that they come into town and they're looked at and they're frowned upon just for being black. You know what I'm saying? They are regular working class family. But I thought that, it was done well in that sense. And, we've seen racism in movies and shows, but I feel like this was the most clear-cut, straightforward display of racism on film. The way that they talked about redlining was dope.
Fire.
You know what I'm saying? The way that, the mother confronted her neighbor across the street, and their conversation. I think that the racism being set up, I thought that going into it was the racism being set up as the horror. And so from that standpoint, I thought it was dope. Also, stylistically, I thought it was amazing.
Oh, for
I
sure.
thought it was beautifully shot. I thought the editing was dope.
I'm also a filmmaker, guys. If you for the first time listening, go ahead.
I thought the sound design, the music that they used.
Oh, for sure.
They snapped.
It was awesome.
Snapped. I like when they use they use newer. They kind of use newer music for that time. I don't think some of those songs were out yet, but I think that it was still dope. You know what I'm saying? Editing, stylistically from an editing standpoint, and just the vision and how they did everything, the camera movement, camera shots. I think all of that was dynamic. I thought that I love that they use these dark-skinned people, dark-skinned Black people to be portrayed, you know what I'm saying, as the Black family. I loved it from that standpoint. My favorite episode was actually the black and white episode with the preacher.
Yes, that was my yes.
I thought that episode was really, really well done.
I thought it was necessary.
Story, yes,
exactly.
This preacher. Something happened to his family. Spoiler alert. All right, look, spoiler alert.
Yes,
something happened to this family, and he prayed to God, and then found this child in a bush. And it turns out to be Satan. You know what I'm saying?
That's so
but he don't know that until it's too late. He don't realize that until it's too late. And so he's praying to God, and that struggle, you know what I'm saying, with this preacher who's supposed to be over this community. That joint was fire to me.
And that's what
joint was fire to me, G.
That's why I said I felt that the tying of the real racial horror, but still bringing it back to these, the tying of racism and whatnot, but still bringing it back to horror. That was fire. The idea that this guy found his child and was oh my God, but it was really
right. He saw it as a sign. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, what? God is speaking to me right now. You know what I'm saying? But not even using his discernment. You know what I'm saying? It's
bro. And then from that framework, and him being such a faithful man, being in with the Bible and whatnot, and then when everything kind of goes to shit, when they really start to blame this black couple for their transgressions and whatnot, using the scriptures in the Bible to.
But ain't that how it happens, though? Isn't that how it happens?
That's what I'm saying, and that was so impactful.
Yeah.
Because it's one's reading. Look, we can go deep with this shit. Their reading of the scripture, it was well, this scripture says this, right?
Yeah.
So obviously we're justified with our hate for for the alien, right? For these black individuals who obviously at that time they were trying to be, the white man was trying to be good. He was trying to be good, but he made a deal with the devil. And go ahead, come on. I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead, man.
Here's my issue with the show.
Go ahead.
All those things I liked. I started positive, but here's my issue with the show. First of all, it's a show where this black family's trauma is on display, and if the racism wasn't enough, they got to be haunted too. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of hurt me, because it's yo, they dealing with a lot, G. So there's that, and then it's a show that's executive produced and created by black people, and that also hurt me because, you know, yo, why we doing this to ourselves? You know what I'm saying? They gotta just be torn down. They just torn down. And wow, that's great. They overcame all of that. But why they even gotta go through all of that? Like, yo, they went through a lot, G. They went through a lot. The whole baby situation, raping, and yo, why can't they get a break, G? Why can't they get a break? Why can't it just be the racism? The racism is enough. That's enough.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful setup. That's a beautiful setup. You know what I'm saying? You can create a lot out of that. But to add the haunting to it, and it's only the black people in this town that are haunted. You know what I'm saying? What's the takeaway? Is it to not move, don't feel that you need to move to an affluent neighborhood? Maybe you should be with your own people. Is that the message? Or, you know, they were trying to escape a very bogus situation. You know what I'm saying? They escaped a bad situation to come into another bad situation. You know what I'm saying? That just irked me. It's like, why I gotta watch these black? Why is black trauma? Why I felt like, why is black trauma a thing that we can watch and enjoy as a television show?
Well, that was my
issue with it.
That was my issue as well. That's why I said, you know, being a horror guy, which kind of is counter to.
I like horror. Don't get me wrong. I like horror.
I was okay with them making it about horror because it took away from that. It made it. They kind of tried to tie the two together. But to your point, yes. Initially, when they started going through, like, I'm watching episodes. I'm like, gee, are we about to create a new genre? Is this what we about to do? Because it's very, and I'm not trying to hate on these people that made this, but to me, it's obvious and very, oh man, fuck it, I got to go there. I'm talking already. Opportunistic to do it during the times we are in, on the backs of everything the past 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Why is this kind of thing being talked about now, right? Well, George Floyd was last year. We've had Michael Brown. We've had Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman. We've had all these things happen, and now we're starting to get these racial horrors. And I was like, I'm not really down for this.
Yeah.
But what was dope though, what I really did appreciate though, to kind of, I don't know, maybe as a devil's advocate point, at the end, it became more so about each individual facing a fear, right? The father had to own up to the fact that I should have been there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? The daughter, you know, with this imaginary, I still don't know what really hers is about. The mother and her struggles. Everybody individually had to kind of face their own final boss. You know what I'm saying? To come out strong together. I don't know what that was about. Maybe it was like, if we can face these things individually, fuck these white people, we can face them as well. I don't know. Good point though. I did not think about that until you said it. So
that's my thing also. Like, they escaped a really bad situation. You know what I'm saying? They escaped a really bad situation. You know what I'm saying? To try to better themselves. And they in another space where now they haunted by this entity and these beings, and only the black people in this community, only the black people. You know what I'm saying? They going to visit other black people to get some solace and understand what's going on, and they crazy. You know what I'm saying? Except for like bros, cousins, and whatnot. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I don't know, man. The black trauma of it all, I don't want to sit here and see that. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I was.
That hurt me, man. Like, come on, fam. Like, the racism is enough. This is good that they can structure it like this. I thought that the you know, I thought about other people seeing this show. You know what I'm saying? Mainly non-black people.
White
And
people. He means white people. Go ahead.
okay, white people. You know what I'm saying? And you know, they're seeing this
What is their
family.
takeaway, right? What is their perspective? What is their takeaway from it? But go ahead.
I almost feel like it can be misconstrued that all this is happening to them because they're being haunted. You know what I'm saying?
Good point.
Rather than, nah, man, this racism is real, G.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But now they living in a space where there's a haunting going on where it's tearing their mind inside out. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why they got to be torn down doubly so. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Not only outside of themselves, but now inside of themselves, they got to be torn down. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that joint I struggled with that aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like having to watch, and I like horror, but I felt like it was either or. I felt like it should have been either or. You know what I'm saying? And also, I'm going to just throw out there, you know what I'm saying? What happened to old girl? I thought that was just real random, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of a sudden, she getting kidnapped and what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That made no sense.
That was just thrown in there. Like,
outside of the justification that she should die because she was evil. I was totally fine with that. Didn't make sense, but yes, he popped her ass off. Pow.
Like, that didn't make any kind of sense that, what?
No, it did not.
She had just found out some stuff about her husband. It's like, okay, let's see where that goes then. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, what, dude? She got off easy, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? She got off easy.
She got off easy. She deserved.
Got murked out, and then that's it. She ain't even coming back for season 2 if there's a season 2. But it's like, man,
you bringing us. Look, honestly, you're changing my feelings on it because early on, I think I texted you. I like, yo, G, like we about to do this.
I think it's worth checking out. I think it's worth checking out because I think if there's room for dialogue, you know what I'm saying? And for the people, and I mean, I've had 2 people.
Maybe that's the point, to create conversation, which we talking right now, right?
But then what's the conversation? What's the, like, you know, I've heard people call it a masterpiece. I've had my guys tell me, or at least I've had 2 people tell me, you gotta see it. It's amazing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I see where you coming from a certain extent, but let's talk about it. Why do you feel that way? I'm curious to know what makes it. Why do you feel that way? You know what I'm saying? Because I want to know.
Maybe the takeaway is this. Since they kind of left it open-ended. Maybe the takeaway is what happened at the end. At the end, after facing and recognizing everything that they had been through and getting over that, they all come out solidified and unified to face the real danger, which is present racism, right? Maybe the takeaway is racism, slavery, and all that stuff was very horrific in respect to that family, right? Mm-hmm. And now they came together and they're going to go outside, and it's like, y'all can't do nothing to us. We just made it through an actual outer body, whatever horror, for real, like real horror. Mm-hmm. There's nothing that your racism can do to us. Mm-hmm. Maybe, and that's what I was thinking. That's why it was a cliffhanger, right? It was a cliffhanger because at the end they all came outside together.
Right.
But the key is that they both individually faced their fears and they came out together unified. Maybe that's the takeaway. I don't feel as if Black people are unified. if you want to ask me it personally. Maybe the takeaway is that we look at what we came through. What can't we do if we I don't know, but that's just speculation, people. I could be wrong.
I received that. Though I still feel the way I do.
No, you are. Hey, man, I appreciate your opinion. For you, kind of put like I'm like,
I mean, if they come out with a season 2, I'm gonna check for season 2.
I won't watch
you know
it.
What I'm saying? I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check for it.
It needs to end right where it ended at.
I mean, I feel like there's
what's next. What's next?
I don't even know what could be next.
But that's my point. If they do, then they are opportunistic, capitalizing off of racial trauma for $1 in a time where everybody is concerned with
because they defeated the boss. You know what I'm saying? They defeated the boss.
They do that, and I'm right in my text to you a month ago. Like, gee, we about to start seeing for real racial traumas become a real thing from the standpoint of horror.
I mean, what's next? Shout out to Jordan Peele, because I feel like we have seen a few other things that are race charged in that way. You know what I'm saying? I know Antebellum has something to do with race.
Watch it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I actually do want to watch it. But
you know me, bro. I'm very skeptical of these. I can't look. You heard the girl in the joint used the sample for white allies, right? Or she said, the woman that was giving or recruiting blacks to come to Compton said, maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Honestly, the property values when black people move in go up. Like she said that, right? They were like, calm down. That's just your natural biological care being a woman. Right? No. Right? Yeah. So, bruh, if they come out with a season 2, that's our next Beers and Bars blog post. I'm shredding them.
I mean, it's got to be just about the racism then. They can't have a horror aspect to it. But that's what the show is based on. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. I mean, I have a love-hate relationship with it. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that. Hey,
I thought that it looked really good. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth viewing, but I think the trauma that this family had to go through was unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was necessary. The same way I thought that the girl, the whole kidnapping situation wasn't really necessary. That was real. What this got to do with the storyline? Like, they just threw that joint in there.
That joint was very. Who wrote that part? All right, so who wrote this part and put it in there?
And said, yes, that's a great idea. You know what I'm saying? What that got to do with the rest of that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. That got nothing to do with nothing, G. That was completely what this got to do with anything, G.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't know. That's how I feel. I don't know. Today's episode was kind of, I don't know.
No, that's fine. I really like today's episode. It's very rare, since we were trying to do all the different creatives and whatnot. We don't get back to, me and you just hashing out ideas and just, so yeah, man. Next couple weeks, I'll talk to you offline. Come on, we have some people that's trying to come on the show and whatnot. So you guys just stay tuned.
Go listen to our
good plug
playlist on Apple Music. What's it called? I don't even know.
Beers and Bars Guest List Volume 2. If you put Beers and Bars in whatever you listen to music on, you should probably be able to pull this up. It will feature our last 4 MCs who have been on the show. That being Jay Hayes, Weasel Sims, Fillmore Green, and Ugly Boy Marlin. So
yes.
Yeah, man.
Go check that out. It looks like that. Uh-oh. Wait, hold on. Dang, I can't even show that joint.
There you go. Guest list. There you go. Yeah.
It looks like that on streaming platforms. But, yeah, man. Beers and Bars.
Beers and Bars. We'll see y'all next time. Peace. Peace.